Good morning to you. It's another great day here in Central Virginia, Monday, November the 18th. Wow. We always look forward to being able to come together for our live local entertainment show, Virginia This Morning. Amy Lacey and I are proud to be your host. I'm Bill Bevins.
And I am so happy to be here with you this morning, kicking off a Monday morning. You can enjoy a variety of things right here on Virginia This Morning. We are the area's only premier infotainment show. We have the pleasure of meeting all kinds of people, learning new things, and finding out what's happening in and around Central Virginia. And as we learn about it, we're learning about it with folks out there, and it's great to have that.
So much stuff happening all the time. It's impossible for one person to know everything, but we have a
somehow
team.
Do.
Well, when you're 150 years old, you accumulate some information. But, you know, you get out and you meet folks, and then folks come in and tell you about what's going on, and it does. I mean, that's why we do what we do, is not only do you get to learn, but we get to learn what's going on in the community and what's important and what people are passionate about and what they're doing out there, and it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks ago we had JP Jumpers here, and they were talking about their angel tree, so it's something that I went out, I got one of the names off of there, and I had a chance to go on Saturday and drop off the items to make someone's holiday season a little bit happier. So we are learning what's happening in the community. I may not have known about that if it wasn't for Virginia This Morning. So it's a great way to start your day, learn, have fun, and just, you know, experience what Central Virginia is all about.
Fun's a big part of it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it going. It's time to set sail and chart a course for another work week. Ooh, that sounded serious.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Also fun.
Award-winning author and writing coach Stacey Hawkins Adams is here, and she's going to talk about leaning into your purpose. This is the latest topic in our Motivational Monday series.
And it is America's largest nonprofit speaker series, and it is right here in Richmond. The Richmond Forum announces their lineup for the 39th season. Heather Crislip, the organization's executive director, will fill us in when we connect with her a little later this morning.
And we will enjoy staying connected to our valued friends and viewers of the show all the time. So whether you are out and about or traveling to a fun destination, capture a fun, unique picture and make sure you send it to us. Coming up, we'll have a special version of Everywhere You Are. We can't wait to see what landed in the inbox.
I always have a little bit of travel envy because we feature the most beautiful pictures of some of our viewers all over the world, and it really is just lovely.
It's going to be fun.
The beauty of this show is we have the ability to take technology on the road to interact within our community. Our talented creative services team makes the magic happen for us on location. And today, Andreas White-Murdaugh is on a tasty assignment at one of the area's top cooking schools. Good morning, Andreas.
That's right. I am right here at the kitchen classroom right off of West Broad Street. And listen, we are about to do something quite yummy, but also quite informative. I'm going to be making some pastel de nata. I hope that's how I say that. It's a custard cup. If you see this right up here, we're going to be looking forward to getting all the best tips from the founder of the kitchen classroom, Warren Haskell. In the meantime, we're also going to be talking about a new acquisition, some new courses that are coming up at the kitchen classroom for all of you who are in the hospitality industry and might need to renew those Serve Safe classes. So get ready for this. Stay with us. We're going to have a yummy good time. I'll send it back to you.
All right, I love she said yummy twice.
Yummy, great time. Yeah. Well, you know, great times can continue out in the weather garden. Tom Patton is out there, and Andreas is in the cooking school kitchen. So we're just having a great time this morning, aren't we, Tom?
We certainly are. And Amy, we can't be intimidated that Bill has so much knowledge and wisdom. He actually used to do commercials for Ben Franklin, and not the department store.
I saw his first pair of like glasses and stuff when he came bifocals when he came up with them. I like, Ben, you got something there, buddy.
That's right. And you suggested the title for Poor Richard's Almanac.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. And you loaned him the famous key. I think he asked you if you had any spare change. You go, no, I just have a key.
Yeah.
and you gave him that too.
It was shocking what we did.
I see. I'm learning so much today about everything that Bill knows. So thank you, Tom, for sharing that knowledge.
Yes. So Bill's got some wisdom up there. So thank you so much for sharing it, Bill. We appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, good enough. Let's show you what's going on this morning. We've got partly cloudy skies, mainly thin cirrus clouds. And in some cases, we have a cirrus overcast, but the good thing about a cirrus overcast is it's still bright. You get more of a diffuse sunshine, but it's nice and bright nonetheless. 50 degrees right now at the airport. Light breezes. The barometer's actually been creeping up a little bit over the last couple of hours here, and temperatures generally now mid and upper 40s to around 50. We had a lot of 30s earlier this morning. And today we'll look for partly cloudy skies, a little warmer, a lot of thin clouds, but looking good, about 70 degrees for us today. And tonight, partly cloudy skies will drop into the 40s tonight. Maybe not quite as chilly as we had around many areas this morning. All right, there's high pressure, hence the slightly rising or slowly rising barometer. Big system in the middle of the country. There is a tornado watch box into parts of Texas, Oklahoma today. And you can see that big comma-shaped area of precip around low pressure. And that's where there's some severe weather going on this morning, especially from around Oklahoma City and not quite into Dallas, but it looks like maybe to the west of Dallas should be moving in there today as well. All right, so for us, we'll just have partly cloudy conditions, a nice day, partly cloudy tonight. More clouds arrive tomorrow and they thicken. And by tomorrow evening, there'll be some showers moving through the area right into tomorrow night and early Wednesday morning. And then a bit of that energy way out to the west I just showed you will move through here probably later in the day Wednesday. That'll bring a few showers, maybe a little stronger weather up to the north from that. That'll be Wednesday afternoon and evening. Look at the cold air, the snow behind it for parts of the upper elevations of Virginia, West Virginia. So that'll be sort of an end to our mild temperatures. It's looking like about a quarter of an inch, a little less to the south, maybe a little more to the north, but that's kind of the target number this time. We're not talking about inches of rain, but you know, that's not too bad if we do get around a quarter of an inch. That moves out Wednesday night into Thursday. That's when our big change will occur this week. Temperatures are going to get a lot colder. It's going to be breezy for a few days there. Highs just in the mid-50s. And then through the weekend, some cold mornings with overnight lows in the 30s. That is your forecast. Virginia This Morning will continue right after this.
Virginia This Morning is the place where you can find out what's trending in and around our community. I'm Amy Lacey. I have the pleasure of being here with Mr. Bill Bevins today. Good morning.
Good morning to Amy, and good morning to everyone. There is always something you can enjoy when you tune in each weekday morning from 9 to 10 a.m.
So I have to ask you, you said that you were having sort of a war with the leaves last week.
Yes.
Did it ever get resolved?
Well,
has there been a peace treaty?
No.
There's never a peace treaty in Central Virginia with the leaves.
Week.
Yeah.
Everything looked great. They're back.
It's just the way that it happens.
But it's funny because we have, a big front yard and a big backyard. Front yard, everybody's done. Like, okay, Bill, you won. We'll give up. The backyard, like, we're coming for you. So yeah, I got to get back out there again.
Still have a little bit more of this season, but it's going to taper off here in the next few weeks.
It's funny how things work because years ago, I would always have everything done a week or two before Thanksgiving. Now it's almost Christmas before the last one gives up.
It's just crazy.
Yeah,
the seasons have changed a little
bit.
bit.
Just a little. Yeah.
Well, if you are, a changing season, maybe tuning in, this is the time when we preview a few highlights from our live show.
We know sometimes it's hard to get back into the work frame of mind after a great weekend. Award-winning author Stacey Hawkins Adams is here to talk about Lean Into Your Purpose. That topic is our Motivational Monday series coming up today.
And the Richmond Forum is happy to announce its distinguished lineup of speakers as they get ready to launch their 39th season. Heather Chris Lipp will have those details still to come in our live show this morning.
Always blown away by the people they're able to bring in.
I have been to quite a few of those, and they are just the most beautiful conversations.
Wow. All right, and now let's send it out to our very own, speaking of beautiful, Andreas White Murdaugh, who's on a dessert mission today. Hey, Andreas.
Good morning. I always love being on location, and this morning I've got a tasty assignment. I'm here at the kitchen classroom on West Broad Street with owner Warren Haskell, who is going to teach us how to make a lovely dessert. We've got some friends here who are going to help because there's much to do. We're going to be making pastel de nata.
Yes, this is a Portuguese, I'd say more of a treat than a dessert. It's originally made by monks in Portugal to use up extra egg yolks because they had egg whites they used for starching habits and doing laundry, and there are all these yolks left over. So this came up. This is something you'll often have with coffee in the afternoon. You're not going to serve it after dinner as a dessert, but something that's a sweet treat at a coffee shop. It's pretty much ubiquitous around Portugal as a little coffee shop treat. So we want to get going?
Yes, let's give it a whirl.
So Elisa's going to add the sugar to the pan. We have some sugar. We're going to add the cinnamon.
Sugar there.
Yes. Well, let's just start. We have cinnamon sticks. We have some vanilla, water, and then lemon zest. We're going to turn that on and let it come up to a simmer or a boil. And it's just going to cook till it's fully melted for a minute or two. And while that's happening, Reese is going to add the flour to this pan and the salt. It's a little container there, and grab a whisk. And we're going to whisk that together. Then we're going to put about a third of the milk in. That's it. That's good. And we're going to whisk this until it's sort of a smooth paste. And we're going to use all the milk, but if you add a ton of liquid to a dry mix, you're never going to get those clumps out.
Right.
So we want to get it so it's pretty smooth before we add all the liquid in.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yep.
Now, one of the things that we've seen here is the magic of having everything prepped and ready to go.
Yes.
So as you're teaching these types of classes, you're using best practices and get everything ready, get all of your ingredients measured out. It makes it a lot easier.
Well, yes, and for class, I always tell people like, oh, we're not, some classes they do a lot of chopping, some classes not. And there's certain classes, if I let the students do all the chopping, we'd be here for 4 hours. So we do a lot of the measuring because we figure in class you figured out how to measure, and that the cooking is what you want to learn, not how to measure a quarter teaspoon. We want to whisk constantly while that's heating up, so it doesn't scorch or burn at the bottom. And this is going to come up and become sort of a thick paste, and that's when we know it's done, when it's all thickened and bubbly. And as that comes up to a simmer mode, we just shimmy or shake the pan a little bit. We don't need to stir it. We just want to let it come together. And this is the two parts of our custard. We have the custard base, our sweetener, sugar syrup, and we're going to add some egg yolks that I talked about earlier once these are good to go.
Well, we're moving right along here. Looks like things are coming together. I'm peeking. And it's interesting that we don't have to stir it. We really just let it come together on its own.
Anytime you're making a caramel, you're generally going to avoid, this isn't really quite a caramel, but it's a similar method. You're going to avoid stirring because it'll help cause crystallization. So you get little crunchy bits, which you don't want. And because it's going to melt and dissolve, and that we don't have to do that. We're just going to lightly shake it. You don't need to worry about stirring and such. Yeah. And there's lemon zest and the cinnamon's going to give it a nice flavor. We're going to take those out before we eat it. It's not going to be in the custard cup at the end.
Yeah, I noticed you put basically the whole cinnamon stick in there.
Yeah, it's easier to remove that way. You could use powdered cinnamon, but it's going to add a little speckle color to that, and the flavor's going to be a little different. But if you didn't have cinnamon sticks, powdered cinnamon would work just fine.
Cool. All right. Are we on?
Yeah, we're on. We're going. It's coming. It'll come quickly. The other thing, these are in little custard cups, and you want to follow along with this. We have some puff pastry. This comes when you buy it in a sheet. You're going to get it at the freezer section of almost any grocery store. We're not on the Great British Bake Off, so we're not going to make puff pastry from scratch. It's just not a thing people do at home. And we cut this sheet in half, and then we're going to stack it up, and we're going to roll it up sort of like a cinnamon roll. And this is going to start making the base for our custard cups.
So you want them nice and thick, it looks like.
Yeah, well, we're going to take this. Now we have a little knife here. We're going to cut it in half. Cut it in half again, then cut this in thirds.
This is nice and thick.
Yep, it's almost there. A little bit. So we have these little circles now.
Okay.
And we take them, sort of flatten to make them round, and we put them on a little shell, and we press them in there, and this is making our shell. Now, we do the spiral because it helps shape it. It also gives it a nice little design on the bottom. Usually you see a little spiral.
So the spiraling is important, even though we're going to smush it out once it gets in there.
Yep, it helps the structure of it, it helps the look of it. And we're bringing it all the way up the edges, so it's just coming up the sides. We don't want any, we want it all the way up the sides here. And we're going to do that for all that.
All right. Well, I'll give it
Yeah.
Give it a whirl too. So stick it right on in.
Push it down,
And
yep.
push it down. But we want to bring
Make sure we
it up
push
the
it into the
side.
thing. And it doesn't seem like a lot of dough, but
No,
it
it
is
doesn't.
enough. Because
Yeah, I
we want a
was
really
surprised.
thin shell.
Okay.
This is going to make it nice and crisp, and we're going to make it browned. And what we did, we have, before this goes in the oven, we have our oven preheated to 525 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever cooked anything that. on that
Yeah,
high.
I know most people at home don't put their oven over 350, and most cooks I know don't use the oven at 350. That's, unless I'm
Well-
making a cookie or something, I'm not 350. I'm 400, 450, 500.
Yeah, that's usually where I am. About
know.
425, 450.
But these
you're
cook
saying
in a-
525.
Yeah, or 550 if your oven runs cold. We are baking these only about 10 minutes. And you
So
see
this
on
is a
it,
quick little dessert we can put together.
yeah, 45 minutes probably start to finish if you're doing
Okay.
it from scratch, but it's definitely something you can do otherwise. We're going to hand this over to Lisa. And give that a
Yeah, there we
try.
go.
You see it doing? We can turn that off. Now, we're going to let these cool,
Okay.
but because if we added the egg yolk now, it's going to scramble. So,
Interesting.
right, because the egg's going to cook, right?
Right,
We don't want
right.
scrambled egg tarts.
Right.
We're not making quiche, so we need to let this cool.
A different sort of treat, huh?
So if you want to move that off the burner, that's going to let it cool.
This
But we're going to reach down below because this is TV and do some magic, and we're going to grab a pan
Magic.
that already has this done and made in it that's already been cooled.
There we go.
Swap that out, and we're going to add the egg yolks in.
So how long do we think this has to cool before we?
10 minutes, maybe
Okay, so
less.
still not a long time. We're talking
Yeah.
about just a few minutes to pull all of this
Just enough so
together.
it's not going to scramble the eggs. It's still warm.
Yeah.
So from there, we're still going to go back to the whisk because that's going to make it easier, get it all well combined.
The right utensil.
Yeah, any whisk is good. And Lisa's going to reach down below her, and again, more TV magic, and grab the other pan. Yep. Take the lid
There
off.
it is.
And we're going to
Voila.
pour that in our custard, just pour it right in.
Beautiful.
Oh, just pour it all in, you're good.
There you go.
Yes.
There we go.
This is how you learn in class. You're not going to do it right the first time per se.
Beautiful.
So that's our sweetener going in our egg custard.
It almost looks like a honey.
Yeah, well, the
Beautiful
vanilla's
honey.
giving it some color, a little bit of caramelization from the
Yeah.
cooking. You want to whisk that all together. And this is our base that we're going to pour into our little tins.
All right. We've got about 30 more seconds for
yeah.
pouring.
So again, we get these all the way up to the top. But first time, it's a learning process.
Yeah.
So that's why everybody in class would get to do a whole tray like this. And then
Learn as you go.
we'll come back behind and make sure it turns out well. So,
Nice.
yeah.
All right.
Then we're
All
going
right.
to do...
Well, we're going to get ready to do some pouring during the break. In the meantime, you stay with us. We've got some pasta del nata that's on the menu. I'm here at the kitchen classroom. We've just made pastel de nata, a lovely custard cup with a crusty edge. I'm here with Warren Haskell, the founder of the kitchen classroom, and some lovely friends who have helped us make the perfect start to our treat. Now, we've got a few more steps before we're ready
Yep.
to dive in.
So we've got everything mixed together, and we're going to strain this so that if any clumps got in there, you're fine. Oh, it's not going to fall. Any clumps got in there, we don't want them in the final dessert. So we get a little fine mesh strainer. We're just going to pour this through. And just give it a little thing here. And there are little clumps there, and that's no big deal because now they're not in there.
There we go.
And then I'm going to hand this over to our friends, and they're going to pour this into the cups, about 2/3 full. We don't want to go all the way up to the top, or it's going to puff up too much and make a mess. I mean, it'll still be edible and delicious. It'll
Still
just get on the
delicious.
edges and make it harder to get out of the pan.
Still delicious.
So this recipe makes 12. You always have a little bit of the custard left over, which is fine. You always want to have a little extra. You don't want to run out and have short-filled cups. And then this is going into our oven when they're ready. And of course, we'll have some out here shortly. These only take 10 to 11 minutes to bake, which is one of the reasons we're at such a high temperature. And if you can see on these, you can see how well browned these are. And that's what we're looking for. We don't want a pale crust. We want a well browned, a little bit of that carbonization, not burnt, but well browned. There's a little crisp to it.
And before the break, we talked about how our oven is on 525, maybe even 550, the highest that many of us will ever cook. And that's because we want that lovely crust, and we want to do it pretty fast.
Yeah, and that's why I say it only takes 10 to 12 minutes. And we're not going to refrigerate this dough. We're going to, or this afterwards. Like, we want this to come out warm. If we had this, like, say, made it the night before, and it would actually be cold, and it wouldn't bake quite properly.
And look
so
at that.
that's our finished
magic.
ones. And you can see, we would like to see the little brown spots on the top. That gives it a little more flavor. And again, usually it's part of the hot oven. And then they just usually pop right out.
They pop right out. I can already see that the crust is nice and brown.
Yeah.
And there we are. We have a lovely, lovely dessert. All right, well, I think we should do a little digging in
Yeah.
here.
Have at
Let's
it.
see.
So.
Oh, yeah. So nice and sweet.
You got a little hint
Gooey
of
on the
cinnamon, a little vanilla, a little lemon, crispy edges.
It does. It almost gives you a little bit of the flavors of like a waffle cone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got the, again, that's another well-cooked dough, so it's got that little crispiness.
Now, there's so much we could talk about.
Yes.
These classes you offer, and you teach just like this, teaching all of us, whether you are skilled or an expert, you can learn a little something at the classes you offer.
I mean, we're really for all levels. I mean, I'm not expecting executive chefs at fine dining restaurants to come and take a class with us. You know,
Although they're welcome.
They're welcome to. Some of them come teach classes with us. But, you know, all levels, you can be beginners. We work in groups of up to 4 in class, so there's going to be shared work, and somebody's a little better with a knife, somebody's a little better at this. We always get it done. And we focus on information and learning and the cooking. And, you know, we have a wide variety of classes, but 5 to 6 a week.
You make it so easy. And the other thing that you're making easy is for those in our community to get their Serve Pro certifications or to renew them.
Yes.
I hear it takes about 5 years and you got to redo it.
So this summer, myself, the Kitchen Classroom, purchased a business called RVA Food Safety, which teaches Serve Safe classes, which are required for a lot of restaurant workers, daycare workers, anyone serving food to the public, to have the certification. And the certification is good for 5 years. Then you have to take the class again, but you have to test again. And so now we offer those classes here during the week. And we just started offering the class in Spanish, which is new to the state that I know of. The full class test and exam is all in Spanish. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking people in our community and a lot of restaurants. You know, we all have our favorite taco spot and the such. And so we've diversified since we bought the business to add a Spanish language class and, of course, our regular English language class. We offer those 2 to 3 times a month.
And so folks can just go on the website at any level that they are and sign right up. Come on in.
TheKitchenClassroom.com for our cooking classes and RVAFoodSafety.com for the Serve Safe Manager classes and exams.
Now, how did this come about? How did you decide this was the right move?
So I've been teaching cooking classes for like 15 plus years. Started out doing it at a local community arts center down in Matthews County, Virginia, and just really liked it. And after my last thing I was doing before this came to an end, I just needed something to do and took some time. And I was like, I miss teaching cooking classes, and there wasn't a place in the West End doing it, and well, I opened this.
There you go.
It was filling a niche and finding something for myself to do that I like doing every day.
Well, and bringing such a wonderful service to our community, it's so important for us to have these, especially for all of the restaurants and the beautiful culinary artistry that goes on here in Richmond, Virginia. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for teaching us a little something new. To you for helping us get to the finish line, a tasty finish line at that. I'm at the Kitchen Classroom right here on West Broad Street. That's 9018 West Broad Street. And you can visit our website by early this afternoon, virginiathismorning.com, to learn more about the Kitchen Classroom, Serve Pro, and anything else that you'd like to learn from the cooking. We'll see you very soon, and I'm sending it back in to you.
Lean into your purpose. The world needs you to use your gifts, talents, and areas of expertise for good. That's this week's Motivational Monday topic.
Absolutely. Award-winning author Stacey Hawkins Adams is here to lean into that conversation. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
You come in on Monday mornings and we kind of get pumped up for the week, and now we're going to lean into our purpose.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So when you think about purpose, a lot of times people think about what you do instead of who you are. I think we're all guilty of that. I've been a writer since I was 5 years old. I've known that I've loved writing. I wanted to be an author someday. So I've always thought of myself as a writer, but the more I kind of delved into it, and as I got older and started to just take some quiet time, time and do journaling and things of that nature, I realized for myself that my purpose is actually to be an encourager. And the vehicle for me is writing, speaking, but I can also be an encourager to a stranger on the street. I can be an encourager to the children around me. So today's invitation is for people to kind of pause and think about not just what you do, but who you are and who you want to be. And your purpose might be service. It might be how you just nurture the people around you. You might be tending to a garden. What about that nurtures other people? What is the purpose that you're called to?
So it's not necessarily being, I guess, you shouldn't be identified by your vocation, so to speak, but all of the things within that you can give to the entire world.
Right, right. And I think that's important at this time that we're living in now. There's so much tension across the nation with people post-election. We're coming toward the end of the year when people are checking off their list and looking at what they did or didn't accomplish around the goals that they set. So there's a lot of times where we kind of, maybe people feel like, oh, I'm not where I should be, or I haven't accomplished this, or what's my meaning for going forward. But if you think about the things that bring you joy naturally, the things that you're passionate about, the things that you would do without getting paid, that's often where your purpose lies, because that's where you're really impacting other people.
You know, I think in the past, this would have been a guy thing. It's like, who are you? Well, I'm a disc jockey, or I work in radio and television. That's what and they're like, well, I didn't ask you what you did. I'm like, who are you?
Right.
And you said something there at the end of like what your real passion is. So I started out, my real passion was music. And that's what I was interested in. I wanted to be a musician, and one thing holding me back, talent. And so I got into the next best thing. And music is still my passion, and I would do it for free. So.
And how have you used your passion to impact other people?
Well, you know, I'll try to teach people about, you know, music, and I try to learn about new music and try to, you know, keep up a little bit. It's getting harder as time goes on, but, you know, that is, I encourage, like, a 12-year-old just asked me about, you know, taking band for the first time.
Yeah.
I said, you're good at math. Music there's a lot of math in music. So, you know, you probably got a head start on some people. And so, yeah, we decided to go ahead and sign up for band in school.
So, yeah, so you're encouraging, but also being Bill Bevins, I know for many, many years you were on air on the radio.
Yeah.
There were many mornings people would turn on, I need to listen to Bill on my way to work.
Yeah.
So you were inspiring people, you were making them happy. Music is a universal language that gives people joy. So in your own way, you were making an impact. And so I think just think about the things that we think are somewhat subtle things. I think about I was thinking on that way in about the woman who helped nurture my children when I first moved to Richmond. I grew up in Arkansas, so I didn't have any family. My husband at the time and I didn't have any family here. And so there was a woman at our church. She volunteered at the soup kitchen, and she kept seeing us trying to find the right fit for sitters. And she finally said, I'll stop working in the soup kitchen to help take care of your daughter. And she wound up taking care of our daughter and our son and became their Nana. And so her purpose allowed me to live into my purpose at that time as a newspaper journalist. So sometimes you don't know, you might think it's something small, but her purpose was service. She was serving in the soup kitchen. She served our family. She served people in other ways.
Had a huge impact on
right,
your
exactly.
kids.
So people who think that there's nothing magical or important about their work, there is something magical and important about who you are and what you're called to do, and that's the purpose that you should lean into even during the toughest of times.
Well, and it's just not really limiting yourself to a certain phrase or area. Just break it down and look at what you're doing and how you are impacting people's lives in a positive way.
Right, right. How do people, when do their eyes light up when you enter the room, or something about them seeing you makes them smile, or someone says, thank you for that phone call, I needed that. In those small ways, we're adding something beautiful to the world. And you know, studies show that when people figure out what their purpose is and execute it even in small ways, you sleep better, your immune system is better, and you also live longer.
Wow. Okay. that's important stuff. And obviously, if you are able to figure this out, your life is going to be better all the way around.
Absolutely.
And other people too.
Yes.
All right.
Well, it's great information and always a wonderful motivational Monday. So we thank you, Stacey, for coming in here and getting our week off to a very positive start.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Stacey Hawkins Adams sends out a weekly Motivational Monday note. If you're interested in subscribing, visit StaceyHawkinsAdams.com. Stay with us. Our live show returns right after this break. We love being everywhere you are. It is one of our favorite parts of the show where we get to check in with you, our viewers and friends of the show, to see what you've been up to. And people have been up to really fun events.
I always look forward to it. Our Evan Armour is going to open up the inbox and see what we have to share today. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning. It's always fun seeing those pictures and videos that you send in to us, whether you do it on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, through an email, or even on the submission form on our website. We absolutely love seeing them. I have a couple ready to share with you today, and we are going to begin with an incredible view. Take a look at it right here. Virginia This Morning viewer Kim shared this one on our Facebook page. She says she was traveling in Vancouver and the Canadian Rockies and snapped this picture of Lake Louise. The snow looking absolutely gorgeous, and so is that bright blue water there. Thank you so much for thinking of us, Kim, and sharing this picture with us. We hope your trip was absolutely wonderful. And up next, one of my favorite Everywhere You Are regulars. You might recognize this pup here. That's Bear. Jared and Bear always out doing something fun, and we love seeing the pictures that they share with us. Jared says he barely misses a shot thanks to his emotional and pickleball support partner. This was from one of Jared's recent pickleball matches in Colonial Heights. Bear, always up for a good time, and we think maybe next time you should share the paddle with him and see what he can do there on the court. Might surprise us. Speaking of Everywhere You Are favorites, Scott Tucker always has something fun going on. He posted this video on our Facebook page. He was out blowing the leaves on his driveway when he noticed one of them was hanging on by a thread. No, that's not old Halloween decor out there. That's just a spider out there in nature doing its thing. Love that you were able to capture this video, Scott. It looks super, super cool. Love seeing that. And I must say, that driveway there looks picture perfect. And we want to send a well-deserved shout out to our friends over at the Perkinson Center for the Arts and Education. They were recognized as the Nonprofit of the Year for 2024 by the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. That is huge. A big congratulations to them and a big thank you for all the important work that you do. And here's a look at what my crew has been up to. We recently went to New York City to celebrate my brother's wedding. It was both of my kids' first time in New York City. They had an absolute ball. We had a lot of fun sightseeing and also checking out some of the Christmas decorations that were already up throughout the city. Well, that's a look at some of the latest submissions to hit our inbox for Everywhere You Are. And now I'll send it back to you.
Oh my gosh, what a great snapshot of what folks have been up to, including Evans. Just such a great time. Now it's your turn to be featured on our live show.
Please send us a video, picture, or comment to our Virginia This Morning Facebook or Instagram page, or email us at virginiathismorning@wtvr.com.
The Let's Make a Deal Scratcher is the latest one from the Virginia Lottery. CBS 6 and the Virginia Lottery are giving 4 lucky contestants a chance to win a $100 Scratcher prize pack.
And last week we told you we'd announce the first winner today.
Drum roll, please. Congratulations to Robert Maxwell from Chesterfield County, the first winner. That is so exciting.
Congratulations, Robert. Don't worry, you still have a chance to enter and win. We'll announce the second winner live next Monday, November 25th, between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So make sure you're watching. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our Live Monday show. The 2024-2025 season of America's largest nonprofit speaker series, the Richmond Forum, kicks off this weekend. Here to tell us all about it is the executive director. We welcome Heather Crislip to Virginia This Morning. Thank you for being here today.
It's such a delight to be here. Thank you for having us.
I absolutely love the Richmond Forum because you just have a chance to sit there and learn and be inspired. And this weekend at the kickoff, we're talking about AI and a lot of technology.
Yeah, the first speaker we are kicking off this weekend is a man named Baratunde Thurston. He's kind of a Renaissance man. He's known for a lot of things, but in particular, he's going to talk about artificial intelligence and what it means to be human. How do we reconceptualize who we are when machines are going to be able to do a lot of our work for us?
That that is equally inspiring, but also sort of terrifying, because
Yeah.
it's what a deep conversation to have.
Well, he's very much optimistic about the future. And I'll say he came from, one of the things he's known for is being the digital director of The Onion. So I think he'll bring a lot of humor and insight into the conversation as well.
Absolutely. And then, you know, speaking of the unknown, the great unknown,
Yeah.
you bring in some NASA folks in too.
Yeah, we were able to get Amber Strawn, Dr. Amber Strawn. She is a astrophysicist at the James Webb Telescope. She has worked with the James Webb Telescope for about 15 years. So she's going to talk to us a lot about the discoveries that have happened that in the last 2 years since the James Webb Telescope has been operational, but also the incredible epic journey, engineering journey that it took to get that telescope up and into the atmosphere.
And then everybody loves basketball. March Madness is it is a thing that we are already getting excited about, and you're going to have a very special talk about that.
Yeah, so in February, just before March Madness, we're going to bring in Coach K, the former head coach of probably the winningest coach of all time from Duke University. He's going to talk to us about playing to win, and we're going to have a lot of fun basketball tie-ins for that program. So we're hoping some Duke alumni might be able to join us for our season this year.
Another big talk also in March. And that is Richard Reeves.
Right. Richard Reeves is probably one of the more interesting speakers, lesser known name, but an incredibly compelling story to tell about the issues and challenges with boys and men in our society. He has a narrative that while we have made tremendous strides in equal opportunity for women, we haven't done the same kind of work to figure out what men are in our society. And that's left us with some inequalities that we probably need to address.
And then you round out the season just with some women representing some great figures in American pop culture and beyond. Martha Stewart, a little name like
You've
that.
heard of her.
I've heard of her, yes. And she's quite having the moment now with her documentary.
Yeah. So Martha Stewart will be joining us in April, and we'll having her sit down with Soledad O'Brien. And we picked her because Soledad has covered Martha Stewart's career and all of its ups and downs through decades. So we think it'll be a really fascinating conversation. We entitled that talk, "The Life Behind Living." Going into how Martha Stewart created. She really is the original influencer.
And Soledad herself, what a great name to bring in and have doing this type of conversation right here.
Yeah. Soledad has been delightful to work with.
Wonderful person. I have had the pleasure of being in a double box with her when I was doing a live shot a long time ago, and she was so just kind and just a great person, such a professional.
Such a professional.
Well, I know that you have piqued the interest of many folks out there who want to come on out. How can folks get tickets and come to one or all of these?
Yeah, the one thing I want to tell you is there is no wait list for the Richmond Forum. One of the things that the pandemic gifted us was the opportunity to take Richmond Forum programming streaming online. So we really have two opportunities still available to folks. We still have seats available in our simulcast room, which is the ballroom of the Altria Theater. We bring the speaker down. You get to watch in a much more casual atmosphere. It has its own bar. People really love the simulcast room, and we do still have seats available there for this weekend. The other way is to become an online subscriber, and that is available to anyone, anywhere. It could be a great gift, but that will give you access to streaming the program live or up to 30 days after the fact. And people who are simulcast room or online subscribers have the ability the week of the program to upgrade to be with us in the main theater.
Wonderful.
And so also, if you subscribe with us this season, you are first in line for theater seats next year.
Oh, it is so exciting when you go there. And I'm someone who has sat in the auditorium, and you sit there and everyone is casual at first, and then as these wonderful, intriguing speakers start talking, everyone leans in a little more forward, and you open your ears just a little bit more. These are always such wonderful conversations. Thank you for bringing this season to Virginia this morning.
Absolutely.
We know it's going to be another great one for the Richmond Forum.
Thank you for the opportunity.
The Richmond Forum presents its 39th season this Saturday, November 23rd. All programs are held at the Altria Theater in Richmond. For more information, visit our show website by early this afternoon. That is virginiathismorning.com. Bill will send it your way.
Thank you, ladies. Folks, Puritan Cleaners is once again collecting coats of all sizes, especially children's sizes, and giving them to the Salvation Army to be distributed to select Central Virginia families. Since Coats for Kids began in 1988, Puritan has collected about 500,000 coats. And CBS 6 is proud to be one of the, in partnership with Puritan Cleaners for this very worthy annual campaign. You can visit and drop off coats at their location at 1807 Staples Mill Road anytime this month. Please give them a call, 804-355-5726, or visit PuritanCleaners.com. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as well. And we'll be right back.
This segment is sponsored by Active Medicare Solutions.
Open enrollment is here, and now is the time to select the Medicare plan that works best for you. Craig Rasmussen, founder and owner of Active Medicare Solutions, is here to share how and why working with a local Medicare expert is great when navigating this process. Hi, thanks for being here.
Well, good morning, Amy. Thank you.
We still have a few more weeks of open enrollment. How can folks work with someone like you to get that process completed in the way that they needed to for themselves?
That's right. So it is open enrollment. It started October 15th and it does end in a few weeks, December 7th. Getting lots of calls. If someone still would like to review their Medicare plan, we suggest they give us a call at the office. The number will be shown on the screen at the end. We have a couple local offices. We can meet in person. We can do a phone call. A lot of people like to start with just a phone call. But we do see a lot of action this year.
We have talked with you quite a few times about why working with someone local like yourself is so much better for that tailored experience as opposed to that 1-800 number or speaking with a solicitor. How did you get into this business of helping seniors navigate this stage of their lives?
Yeah, so first we'll address the first part of that. There is a ton of value to working with someone local versus a 1-800 number. And it really starts, I think, with the relationship, and a local agent has knowledge of the market. They're familiar with providers, they're familiar with all the different plans, and they can provide you service. And really the reason I got into the business, just because as a young child I was very close with my grandmother. So I have a special place in my heart for working with seniors, and I see every day when they're getting bombarded with calls and the television commercials. These people are just trying to sell them something that works best for them. So we take our job real serious. So my relationship with my grandma is really what's fueled this, and my desire to help seniors, make the right choices with their health care. And that's why I am a certified senior advisor.
I was very close with my grandmother too, so thank you for the work that you are doing for that generation of folks in our community. What is the number one question that they ask you whenever they are navigating this process, whenever they come in for one of your free consultations?
Yeah, so everyone has a different perspective on what this time of year is. So many people we meet that have, purchased their plans over the phone or directly through Medicare, and they don't have an agent that encourages reviews and questions and things like that. Many of them don't even realize they can change their plans. I think this year, there are some plans out there, especially a couple Medicare Advantage plans, where their benefits have changed so drastically. I think a lot of people are calling, is this normal? Like, is this what every plan looks like this year? And the answer is no. There are some good plans with some good benefits, but most of the plans have been hit a little bit. So I think the number one question really is, can I change, and is there a better plan that meets my needs out there?
It is so important for folks to get the plan that they need for themselves that is tailored to their particular needs. How can someone reach out to you and schedule that free review?
Yeah, so I would suggest giving a call to the office. Stephanie and Katie are there answering the phones. That's the 874-6000 number. You can go online. We'll be posting our community events. We'll be doing some seminars, some sales seminars for specific carriers. We'll have those posted on our website. That's a great way to come out anonymously and join a group and learn about a plan. So I'll go online or give us a call at stop by. We have a local office right in Henrico, right next to the Grapevine restaurant. You come right on in and schedule an appointment.
Now is the time of year to do it. Thank you, Craig, for coming in with this information.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And Active Medicare Solutions is located at 11057 3 Chopped Road in Henrico County. For more information, give them a call at 804-874-6000 or visit the website activemedicaresolutions.com. Connect on social media as well. Virginia This Morning returns after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to our live show on this Monday morning. We want to say a big thank you to all of our guests today.
Don't forget, you can watch all of our segments again simply by visiting our show website at virginiathismorning.com.
There are so many that I want to rewatch just from today, including the Richmond Forum. That is quite the rundown of speakers that we're going to be having here in our area. You don't want to miss those.
And everybody that's been in Richmond for a while knows the Richmond Forum. They have such a great reputation of bringing Martha Stewart's coming.
Martha Stewart, someone who has, her name has been in the headlines for many, 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 many years. And her documentary, I have not watched it yet, but I've heard it's excellent, and it gives you a look inside her life that you hadn't had before.
All right, folks, we thank you for letting us be a part of your life this morning. Our Tuesday edition of Virginia This Morning is coming up tomorrow morning. It's going to be another great show. We've seen some of the content already. We'll enjoy a performance from the teen band, The Vagabonds.
And we will preview the Richmond Extravaganza. That all starts tomorrow morning at 8:56. Be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and enjoy a wonderful Monday. We had Motivational Monday today. Find your purpose and share it with everyone.
Have a great Monday.
I really enjoyed that conversation today.
Oh, yeah.